Hello, and thank you for joining us on Forward. Your show is exclusively for the College of Education at Mississippi State. Later, we're going to talk to Matt Collier, who's with Camp Jigsaw. And right now, we have Dr. Rosângela Sebba, who is a professor in the music department and also the area coordinator for piano. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So I wanted to talk about, you just recently got back from Brazil. Can you tell me a little bit about your trip?
That's correct. I was invited to perform with the orchestra, the Symphonic Orchestra in Goiânia, Goiás, Brazil. And part of that was also 2 days of master classes in a state conservatory where we had all sorts of levels of skills as well as age.
That's great. I think we have a couple pictures. So how long exactly were you there?
I was there for a week.
Okay.
And while I was there, I had rehearsal with the orchestra. And the day after the performance on December 12th was the performance, the 13th and 14th, then was the master class. That was 2 hours of master classes in the afternoon, where we also had some teachers there. So I was trying to update them with some techniques and also give them some help in preparing for concerts or how to improve your practicing time.
That's wonderful. And so we also would like to talk about Mississippi State is one of the few universities that has the Steinway Initiative. Can you discuss that a little bit?
That's correct. In the world, we have 160 schools that are Steinway, all Steinway school. And we are trying to be the first one and the only one in the state of Mississippi so far. Mm-hmm. We know that there are other schools that are trying to get that. So far, we have had 9 new pianos on campus, mm-hmm. and 1 concert grant, 9-foot concert grant that one of our professors bought for the university in the name honoring her family.
That's amazing. And we also have a new master's program in the College of Education for the music department. Can you discuss that a little bit?
That's
also?
correct. This summer will be our first semester of Masters in Music Education. And this is still for music educators that teach in public school, and it's only in the summer, and so it's going to be 3 summers and then you get your master's degree, and it's for choir conductors as well as band directors.
That's great. So that's available this summer for
Yes.
anyone who's interested. That's
wonderful. Correct. And if they want to apply, they can go to our website or Mississippi State University website and apply for the program.
That's wonderful. And also, we have the community music school. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
17 years ago, when I moved to Mississippi State University, I noticed that there were 16 private teachers, piano, in the area, and they were doing their work, and some sporadic other instruments teaching. And then through the years, some of them moved, some also died, and so there was a lack of new teachers. And since we teach students to be teachers, I thought, well, maybe we can start with the piano area. So our juniors and seniors were teaching while we were monitoring them, as well as trying to teach them how to behave in a one-on-one situation. It's totally different than a public school setting. And then 2 years ago, we decided to open for other instruments. So right now we have any instrument that a community person would like to take, and it's not only for children, but it's for anybody.
That's wonderful. And how I know that you're very passionate about piano and teaching and everything, which is just wonderful. How did you become involved in music?
I come from a family that is not musical at all, but I have a mother that always believed that you would have to have a good education, you would have to have arts involved. So we had art, we had piano, we had ballet, as well as we had another language. So I speak English since I'm 9 years old. And through that, I became passionate because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed performing, I enjoyed making music with other people. And it just evolved from there, but my entire family took lessons, and it's important for an education. It develops so many other skills like coordination, memory. Even some students will develop their ability in communication. Finland is one of the countries that decided that to improve their academic achievement, they have to implement more music in the schools, and that has become one of the best decisions that they made in the country.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming
You're
on
welcome.
forward,
Thank you.
and I'm so excited to have you on the program. Tune in. We are going to talk to Matt Collier about Camp Jigsaw right after this commercial break.
Everyone remembers their favorite teddy bear, the reassuring love of their first puppy. They comforted us and made us laugh. For children battling abusive situations or post-traumatic stress disorder, the memories aren't as pleasant. That's why at Mississippi State University, we're pioneering a robotic technology that brings healing to those exposed to traumatic situations. Known as Therabot, MSU's robotic beagle includes lifelike features that allow it to move in ways that are both natural and nurturing. Its ultimate goal? To bridge the gap between two types of effective therapy, using real animals and their plush counterparts for emotional assistance. At MSU, we're proud to be changing the game in therapeutic recovery, even prouder to be putting lives back together again. A baby's arrival can be one of the most exciting times in a family's life. It can also be one of the most anxious, especially if the child's development is hindered by medical challenges that create more questions than answers. At Mississippi State University, we're groundbreakers in the study of CHARGE syndrome, a genetic condition that leads to a host of life-threatening birth defects. Our research teams are uncovering breakthroughs in treatment and prevention with a goal of greater understanding that leads to better care. We're also providing crucial support resources for parents and helping physicians around the globe gain awareness so symptoms can be detected and addressed earlier. By engaging in this innovative analysis and therapy, we're not only improving outcomes, we're unlocking brighter futures.
Thank you for joining us. We have Matt Collier here. He is a doctoral student with CISE, and also he works with Camp Jigsaw. Thank you so much for coming on this show.
Thanks for having me.
Can you explain to our viewers what Camp Jigsaw is?
Camp Jigsaw is a week-long camp that we run in the last week of June every year for students with autism, adolescents with autism.
Okay.
And we just kind of work on social skills training and give them a chance to be independent of their parents, and they come and stay at a dorm for a while, so it's a really great experience for them.
That's great. I think we have some pictures of Camp Jigsaw that we can play right now. And who exactly, why does the camp exist?
It was born out of a need for a graduate student intern experience outside of necessarily a school setting. Dr. Devlin, who is the person who started it, Dr. Sandra Devlin, she used it as a capstone project for graduate students. So when they're near the end of their master's degree, they come and they do different projects inside of Camp Jigsaw.
That's great.
I mean, obviously, it was also born out of a need for experiences for students with autism,
of course,
first and foremost.
Of course. That's great. And so what activities do y'all do at the camp?
Well, every day we do social skills and self-determination training in the morning, and then usually during the day we take them somewhere off campus, and they go to like the skating rink or Sanderson Center or the movies. So every day it's something different, and then all throughout the day they practice those social skills that they've learned and self-determination skills that they've learned with the graduate students and other volunteer counselors there to help reinforce those skills.
That's great. And what do you feel are the camp outcomes after the children leave?
Well, they're good. I mean, generally by the end of the week, all the kids are thrilled that they've made friends. And not just friends, but friends with sort of the same challenges that they have faced themselves. So they leave with more skills than they had whenever they arrived, and they leave with more friends than they had when they arrived a lot of the time.
That's great. And do they come from all over Mississippi, or do they come from the different parts of the U.S.?
All over the country.
All over the place?
We had a student either last year or the year before from Alaska.
Wow, that's quite a long way.
I mean, you know, and it's all donation based, so parents don't have to pay to have their child come.
That's
and so,
wonderful.
If you're in Alaska and you hear about this, it's probably worth sending your kid forward.
Definitely, that's amazing. And what are the long-term goals of Camp Jigsaw?
Just to keep it going. Since it's such a unique thing for Mississippi to have, I think we want to grow it. It's difficult because everybody, there's such a demand for that kind of experience for adolescents with autism that it's difficult to serve all of them. I think that ultimately we would want that to expand out of just Mississippi State, and maybe some graduate students could learn how to run this sort of camp and go and maybe start one similar to another university, just to grow, because there's a dire need for that kind of experience for these adolescents.
Definitely. Is there a certain age range as far as is there a certain age that you have to be to come to the camp, or?
Generally, it's students 9 to 12. Although I
Okay.
think we have accepted somebody like in 8th grade. It's one of those things where you don't want to tell a parent no, and we know that their kid needs the experience, and it's hard to say no to people. But generally, yes, just adolescent teenagers.
That's wonderful. And how long is the camp?
It is 5 nights, 6 days.
Wow.
So we go from Monday, I think it's Monday to Saturday. that we
That's
go.
wonderful. That is so great. And excuse me. How do you feel that I know that you've probably worked, how many years have you worked with Camp Jigsaw?
This is I just finished my 2nd year.
Great, okay. Is there any student in particular that you just worked with and just felt that you've made a difference?
Yeah. I don't know that one necessarily comes to mind. I'm also a special education teacher, so I had the privilege of introducing my own students to this experience.
That's
So that was kind of
wonderful.
a special thing for me. And then they go to the summer camp and they get used to calling me Matt. And then it's time for the school to start and they have to get used to calling me Mr. Collier again. So that's kind of fun.
That's great. And so you are a special education teacher. Where do you teach?
At Armstrong Middle School.
At Armstrong? That's wonderful. How many children do you have in your classroom?
It varies all throughout the day.
It
I can
does.
go from 5 to, I'm working in the general education classroom with general education students as well, so up to 25 sometimes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I know that Camp Jigsaw is looking for donations for the camp because it's all donation based,
Right.
so the
Correct.
parents don't have to pay. And I believe we have an address that people can send, and it's to Dr. Devlin, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, so if you are interested in donating to Camp Jigsaw, please donate at the address on your screen. And thank you so very much for joining us on Forward, and we'll see you again next month. Hail State.